So let's take a look at the new assembly subtract options for synchronous target bodies. See the new options here, of course, are recognizing holes, and we want to take a look at that. So Solid Edge, we're just going to open up from the first example here in the 1 through 3 assembly and context, O1 assembly folder. Open up the slider assembly. So here we have a bracket that's going to hold our hydraulic cylinder. We have the chrome looking slide here. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring in that hydraulic cylinder and put it in position. So from the same folder, I'm going to pick up that cylinder and we're just going to position it on the bracket. And let's use the centering plane here and double option, centered in the bracket. The other thing that we want to assemble is I want to assemble the slide up against that shoulder on the cylinder. Now notice that there's no hole in the slide. There's also no holes in the bracket. The new functionality then is to actually subtract the cylinder assembly from those other components. So let's go to the features under subtract, and here's the new options to recognize holes. So first we select what we want to, what our target is, which is the slide as well as the bracket face here. And the tool is going to be, of course, the rod, also the end of the cylinder, as well as the 4 bolts. So once we have all those selected, go ahead and allow it to do that subtraction for us. What's cool about that then is if I go into the slide and I take a look, is that we do in fact have a tapped hole in our slide. In fact, it's a whole feature that I can go in and edit. So let's go ahead and do that. Right now it's just a blind hole. What I want to do is actually put a tap drill in there with it. So we'll go into the options here. We'll change the options to include the V bottom. Hole depth will make it deeper, and then we'll tap it just to say 35 millimeters deep. And now we've updated that whole information in that part. It's in the right position because it was subtracted, and that's exactly what we want. Let's take a look at the bracket face. If we look at the bracket face, you can see that there's clearance between the front of the cylinder and the bracket, and that's because we told it to make that a hole, and it recognizes that it needs to be clearance. So let's go ahead and edit that plate, and there you see the 4 tapped holes for the bolts from the hydraulic cylinder, as well as that clearance hole in the middle, all from just the subtract command. So some very powerful new functionality there in ST9.